They are really good, I must say.
May I come in?
Aye, please.
Oh, namaste, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar. Aye, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your surname is engineer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
AKSHESH.
AKSHESH is my name, yes.
AKSHESH is your name. And Mahendrabhai is the dad.
Yes, my
Dad
father. Yeah, my father's name.
Yeah. So, there was one engineer in cricket also, do you remember?
Farooq engineer was
Farooq
the, yes,
engineer,
ma'am.
yeah, we remember him quite well.
Yes.
हमारे एज का होगा वो तो हमसे बड़ा होगा शायद. अच्छा, anyway, what is AKSHESH? What does it mean?
Oh, ma'am, the name has been derived from the another name called AKSI. It means no variation. And the
No variation.
No variation.
Okay.
And the literal meaning of my name is a man of true faith.
True faith.
Yes.
That's a lovely name.
Thank you, ma'am.
So now you've done a lot of extracurricular. You won 3rd prize for designing a formula racing car
Yes, ma'am.
as a student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you did aerodynamics. So tell me, like with aerodynamics, you are flying these planes, right? With remote. You fly
Yeah.
those remote planes, aeroplanes.
Yes.
So how much of physics should you know? How much should you know to control its, movement up and down and sideways? Fly these aero, whatever they are called.
Yeah, ma'am, I think that's UAS, unmanned aircraft systems. For that, we do not need to know the exact physics how the plane is working.
Okay.
We just need to know the remote control and how to use it.
Only the remote. But I went to one of these flying clubs and they told me that you should know how to control the movement of the aeroplane. It's a small thing, but they said even with remote you should know the dynamics of it.
Yes, to that extent, ma'am, I would like to add that the actual planes have the special controls like flaps, ailerons, radars, elevators.
Yeah.
So if a person is aware of all these controls and also aware of the analysis of this control, how it would affect the plane movement, it would be better for a person
You would do it better.
Yes, better.
Right. So, like for example, you have these simulators you must have seen.
Yes,
in defense also.
Yes, ma'am.
So these simulators, you sit on the chair of the simulator and then you can move it here and there, physically, like in the sense that you are there and you are running it as if it were running, the plane was running or whatever.
Yes.
So even there, if you have a little knowledge, it might be slightly better.
Yes, ma'am.
Than just going like a novice, okay, this is good fun.
Yeah.
There's a difference, no?
There is this.
Yeah. So you did some water pollution issue or something. You worked on it.
Yes, ma'am.
In IIT Madras.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So tell me, why is there so much water pollution in India?
Ma'am, there are multiple reasons for it. The first one is that we historically did not put much restriction on the industries, and we did not attempt those issues in the first few years. So the industry continued to discharge their polluted waters directly to the nearby water bodies like lakes or the rivers. And second, ma'am, if we consider the National River Ganga project that was started back in 1985, the issue was the lack of resources that was given to the project. And second, the follow-up was also not taken very much.
Well, yeah.
So those are the main issues why the water pollution.
Even lakes, ponds,
Yes.
these smaller bodies, water bodies, I have noticed, you might have, that when you go to even a village or to a urban, semi-urban area, and people will hold plastic bottles,
Yes.
thrust it into the water. How do I care? So all this is causing problems. What do you think we should do to save it?
It's unfortunate, ma'am, that the people are not having the proper behavior. For that, we have already launched the Swachh Bharat mission, and the behavioral change is one of the aspects for it. And government is promoting it using the celebrities like Vidya Balan is there, Amitabh Bachchan is there.
They are effective.
Yes, it is effective, ma'am.
So, like if you travel in a train also, suppose I'm going to Tamil Nadu, and then even in the train, people will buy, moongfali, peanuts. Peanuts they'll open it up and throw away the shells on the train, That also is a very bad habit of pollution. It will all go somewhere.
Yes,
right? Okay. Now you were the coordinator of Aero something festival technical event. So this is quite connected. And then you did some project reports of NGO, right? And you were helping women who were affected by the HIV.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you tell me about that? What did you do?
Ma'am, my primary task was to maintain the accounts of the NGO, the inputs and the outputs.
Okay.
And the NGO was working for the economic empowerment of the women
Such women.
and also providing counseling, medical counseling to the women who affected by HIV virus.
Okay. So, did they get okay? Did their health improve? Did their finance improve? What happened?
Ma'am, for finance, the NGO has a very sustainable model where in NGO itself, in the premises, they had the stitching machines.
Okay.
And whatever the women...
For everyone?
Not for everyone.
One machine?
No, there were around 25 machines, and there were also the volunteers who were teaching those women the machines, and the NGO itself was giving the task to those women to finish it, and the NGO itself buy those finished products from the women
and sell it.
And sell it.
That's
So it
very
was a
good.
sustainable model.
Anyway, you won't, at least you are not constricted by making achar or papad. You know, the likely the women only do these type of activities in the assessment of a politician. Usko achar banane do, they would say. Now that is very limiting, no? You can make achar, but you can do 30 other things.
Yes, ma'am. Right,
Isn't
ma'am.
it? Okay, right, sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
AKSHESH, I saw that you are also interested in share markets.
Yes.
In fact, looking at the trends changing pattern of
Yes,
share
sir.
market behavior and so forth, how good an index it is for understanding any country's economy, share market,
Currently or in a general trend?
in a very general sense?
Sir, earlier there was some connection between the share market and the economy, but in the recent trend which I have noticed that the share market is always ahead of the economy, and even the governor of the RBI has also raised the concerns that Indian share market does not have the direct correlations with the economy, which
What
is...
could be the reasons for that?
So the main reason which I can think right now is that share market, whoever the person who is investing in the share market, the primary purpose is to earn the return in the future. So the future potential is something which decides the share market of the today. And India is one of the fastest growing economy, and even the government...
Does it also have to do with the multitude of unorganized sector that we have as a component of Indian economy, and that has absolutely no shadow on the share market? They are not listed companies.
So though they are not the listed companies, but the workers are somehow one way or the other are contributing something to the economy. So their shares will...
Does it reflect on share market indices?
So may I take a moment to think about
Yeah,
it?
sure.
So as per my limited understanding, it won't affect the indices because the indices are mainly made up of the listed companies and which are organized market like Reliance or HDFC. So whatever is happening in the unorganized sector, that would have some sentiments in the share market, but it would not primarily affect the share market as per my...
Who are the biggies these days in the Indian share market?
The
Jhunjhunwala, Shankar Sharma, who else?
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is of course a very big name. Then sir, Radhakrishna Damani is also a very big name in the Indian share market.
They are all from Gujarat.
Not all, sir.
What is that special fascination that Gujaratis have for share market?
Well, I think it's an ecosystem of the Gujarat which has evolved over the period of time, because if we see the history of Gujarat in the past times, the Gujarat does not have a very sustainable agriculture, and the most of the people in the ancient times were engaged into the trading activities. Like if we see the Muslim Bohra community or the Khatri communities, the same tradition has continued even today. And over the time, the ecosystem of Gujarat has evolved so that it promotes the business itself. For example, we have the Gujarat model of development and all. So business activities are something which is likely to be there in the minds of every Gujarati, sir.
Okay. AKSHESH, have you ever thought about it? Like whenever we come across a new discovery or new invention or some new facilities in some equipment that we make, we have to name them, right? There has to be a proper nomenclature. For example, computers, right? We started naming each part of the computer something. Why do we call port a port in computers? So the CPU,
Yes.
there is something called port,
Yes, sir.
right? Why do we call it port?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not aware of the exact reasons.
Why do we call an airport port or bandargah a port? ships are, dockyard, ship dockyard.
Yes.
We call it port.
So as per my understanding, port is something which harbors objects or assets. So airports is a port which harbors the aircraft. Similarly,
Harbors?
or accommodates something, I would say.
Take the cue from computers. What does the port do?
It accepts the input.
Yes. Think of
Halfway.
Sir, sorry, I'm unable to think much at this point of time. I think I
I
need
was
to.
prompted to ask you this question because of your, aerospace engineering and so forth. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Akshesh,
Sir.
what is the Gujarat model of governance which has been talked about so much?
Sir, it was the part of Gujarat model of development, in which the governance was one of the key aspects which made it a huge success. In governance, sir, the government of Gujarat was promoting the single window clearance for the businesses, so that business can easily start up their operations, and that would contribute to the economy of Gujarat. So the single window clearance is the term.
That is one.
Yes.
But what was there on the agriculture front, farming front?
Sir, I think Gujarat do not have very sustainable agriculture. Only 2 or 3 major crops are taken, like cottons or the groundnuts. So majority of the focus was on the industry.
The industry. Have you heard of this gift city?
Yes, sir.
How gift city is contributing to Indian economy?
Sir, Gift City is the first operational green city of India, and the full form is Gujarat International Financial Tech City. And currently, it is just in the initial stage, and the government has already started 2 major initiatives within the Gift City. First one is the IFSC, International Financial Service Center, and second one is the IAC, International Arbitration Center. So the plan of the government is to promote the Gift City to become the business hub for entire world, not just for Gujarat or India, in the on the lines of Hong Kong or Singapore.
Now, Akshesh, this Gujarat tourism, that ad used to be very dominant on Indian TV or media.
Yes, sir.
Kuch din to guzaro Gujarat mein. So now it has become silent. Is there any reason for that? Nowadays we don't hear any such ad.
So I think COVID-19 should be one of the reasons that tourism industry all over the world took a hit, including the Gujarat. So even it would not be feasible for the government to promote the tourism during those time period, because the flights, transportation, everything was affected because of COVID-19.
So Akshay, now this G20 leadership is coming to India next year.
Yes, sir.
We will be hosting summit also in the middle of next year. How you think India can make use of this opportunity to strengthen and to reinforce its position as a global leader?
So the G20 is one of the largest, I would say, the group which consists one of the largest economies of the world. And it would be a really good opportunity for India to strengthen its relations with Western countries, including the USA and a few European countries, so that India can get benefits in terms of trade. Similarly, it would also give an opportunity for India to maintain strategic good relations in the neighborhood, specifically in the South Asia, so that India can effectively handle the aggressiveness of the China in the Indo-Pacific region. At the same time, India can also promote the maritime security in the entire Indo-Pacific region. So that will give the opportunity for India.
Do you think this 1 year of G20 leadership would also strengthen India's claim to UNSC permanent membership?
So it could be one of the platform to pitch in the India's claim in the United Nations Security Council's permanent membership, because as per my understanding, India is the most eligible candidate for the permanent membership of the UNSC, considering the large size of the population, large size of the economy. Even in terms of defense, India is the nuclear power, and India is the most responsible nuclear power. So yes, it would be an opportunity for India to pitch in its claim for the UNSC.
Good. Now, last year, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has been initiated.
Yes, sir.
A lot of schemes have been also announced to achieve the aims and goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Do you not think that it is in contradiction to globalization? The concept which we have been supporting for the last more than 3 decades. When we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat, means self-reliance. So that means we are going for deglobalization. What is your view on this?
So I would differ a bit on this aspect, because Atmanirbhar Bharat is not completely deglobalization. it was in the wake of COVID-19 where the government felt that it is necessary for having the indigenized capacity in many dimensions, like we were highly dependent on China for the API, acute pharmaceutical ingredients. Similarly, there are many other areas in which we are dependent on the worlds, and in COVID-19 we saw the disruption in the supply chain, which had the negative impact on the entire economy of India. So only those products which in which we need to be self-sufficient, those are promoted under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and it does not have any aim for the deglobalization as per my understanding, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Akshesh,
Sir.
okay. Trends in share market.
Yes, sir.
Do I say it is a hobby or it is a extracurricular activity?
So I see it as a hobby.
As a hobby
I do it in free time.
in free time.
Yes.
Okay. Will you recommend this hobby to others also?
So it matters of their personal choice, right? Because
No,
the,
I mean, suppose somebody has come to you looking for advice that I have to have some hobby. Suggest me one of the hobbies. So, will you recommend this hobby to other person?
so I would like to know the background of the person, because I think not everyone would be equally comfortable in the share market. I have the mathematical backgrounds, the engineering backgrounds, so it is easy for me to understand many things in the share market. But if someone is not from such
That means you are doing it as a professional.
I would not say professional, because I am not investing personally in
Yeah,
share
you know, you said that you are looking at the mathematical side of it.
Yes, sir. How there is something called a candle pattern.
RSI and other things.
Yes, sir. So yes, I'm looking those aspects as well, and my skills and understanding of mathematics helps me a lot in observing the trends of Indian share markets.
Is it just a theoretical exercise for you, or are you there to make some money?
So as of now, I haven't thought of it much, and I'm also not financially independent. I'm still dependent on my parents.
Answer question. When you have this as a hobby
Yes, sir.
about the trends in share market, it is just a plain and simple theoretical exercise, or you are looking for making some money?
As of now, I haven't thought much about it. I just like it and I observe it, sir.
Or you just observe it?
Yes, sir.
You don't put money there, not even one share.
No, sir.
Oh, I see. Then others may not take a cue from you. If you have made some money, then they would have taken a cue from you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about any committee or commission for police reforms.
Sir, Malimat committee was there in 2006.
Was it for police reform?
Yes, sir, it was for entire criminal justice reform.
And who are the other members? Who are the portions of criminal justice reform other than police reform?
I'm sorry, sir, I could not understand the question.
You see, you said that Malimat committee, or let me say Dr. Justice Malimat committee report was on police reforms,
Yes, sir.
and maybe something much more than that.
Yes, sir.
What other items were included in the report other than police reforms?
I'm sorry, sir, I haven't read the entire report of Malimat committee, so I think I'm not rightly placed to point out those specific
The
reforms.
title itself would have told you that what all are there. Doesn't matter. Okay. So Malimat is one. Anything else other than Malimat?
Sir, in 2013, Justice Verma committee was also set up.
Was it for police reform? What was the objective? Was for police reform or something? Some narrower object or wider object?
So the main objective was in the wake of Nirbhaya gang rape case which happened in 2012. So the committee recommended the increasing penalty for the rape cases. At the same time,
Ever heard about Rabario committee or Padmanabhaiya committee?
Padmanabhaiya committee, yes, sir, I have heard of it.
Even the older committee called Gore committee?
No, sir, I'm
Never.
sorry.
Gore committee?
I think I need to read more about these aspects, sir.
Okay, that's very nice. Now tell me, what made you to select mathematics as your optional subject?
Sir, right from my school times, I had the personal inclination towards mathematics. I like the calculation and statistics all. So I thought, and it also a very scoring subject.
But don't you think it's a bit risky subject, that if you are not able to solve those things, then you're totally wash out?
Yes, it's unfortunate thing. So it's a binary subject. Either you get full marks or you don't get marks at all. But I think that is the risk every candidate would take calculatively.
But not in papers like sociology or
Yes, sir.
this type of risk is not there.
Yes, sir.
Total
Right.
washout will not be there.
Right, sir.
Something you will write,
Yes.
even if you don't know anything. Oh, so mathematics is not like that. Then why you have taken this much risk?
So it's because it's scoring subject, so I would like to take the risk even at the cost of a binary subject.
That is what is there in the share market also.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Right, sir.
Okay. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Akshesh.
Good afternoon, sir.
First of all, tell me, what is this Open Skies Treaty?
Sir, those are the treaties which an individual country would have with other countries, where they would promote a free transportation of all the aircrafts without any limitation on that. So that is the Open Sky Treaty, sir. And I think India has such a treaty with Japan.
Okay. What's your take on space tourism and why not India is pushing for it?
So the space tourism is a relatively new trend that we are witnessing in the market, and many individual countries like USA and also the companies like Amazon, they have promoted the space tourism. Now coming to the second part, why the India is not promoting, sir, it's because in India we do not have very healthy entrepreneurship capabilities. The Indian youth are also looking for a separate kind of job. They are not ready to take up a very risky things, and this space tourism is, I think, one of the most riskiest things. So that can be one of the reasons.
Okay, coming back to the mathematics. Okay, so how Romans managed without the number 0?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Have you heard of famous mathematician Ramanujan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you share some famous works of Ramanujan?
Yes, sir. His contribution was in the field of number theory and also to solve the sum of the finite as well as infinite series. And he is very famous because he gave something called Ramanujan number. It's 1729. It is the smallest number which can be represented as a sum of the cube of the two different numbers, like 9 cube plus 10 cube and 12 cube plus 1 cube.
What is use of mathematics in daily life?
So first of all, the mathematics makes a person rational and logical to connect the different things simultaneously. And second thing, as I had a conversation with the sir also pointed out, it's a binary subject. So person has to be very precise and very accurate in any kind of decision making. So if the person have mathematical background, he would use those things in the day-to-day life, sir.
Okay. Moving on, do you understand the meaning of SWOT analysis?
Yes, sir.
Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat.
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly do SWOT analysis of Indian economy?
So on the strength part, the population of the Indian economy itself is the strength which provides the huge demands. Then the government's policies are also inclined towards the promoting the economies. Like we have seen the India's moving up of these moving these business indexes. Now coming to the weakness part, sir, the COVID-19 itself and the disruption of the global supply chain is a major weakness that we are facing even in India. Then second is the lack of indigenized capabilities in the multiple fields, in the industries. Even in, if I talk about my aerospace field, we do not have a single company which manufacture the entire planes. So that is, I think, the weakness. Now coming to the opportunities, sir, we are seeing that Russia-Ukraine war is going on, and that gives the India opportunity to plug the loopholes that has been created in the international market. For example, in the wheat grains, where the Russia and the Ukraine were the largest exporters. Now I think that place will be taken by India. Similarly, throughout the world, we are witnessing the anti-China sentiments, and so India can emerge as a global manufacturing hub, replacing the China. That is the opportunity. And also coming to the third part, that we are witnessing a few conflict with our regional players like China. We had the Galwan Valley conflict. Similarly, the CPEC is passing through the Pakistan, which is passing through the POK, which rightly belongs to India but illegally occupied and administered by Pakistan. So those issues would act as a threat for India to emerge as a global player, sir.
Talking about international affairs, we see very weak neighbors in terms of economic and political crisis. It's in Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan. So what role do you see India can play to help these countries?
So first thing, that India can provide a model of economy like a proper balance between the socialism and the economic promotion, like privatization we promoted after 1991. So those economies, I believe, specifically the Sri Lanka, are not going for the sustainable debt management practices. So India can provide the lesson in those directions. And so second, as a goodwill, India can also extend support. For example, India recently extended 400 million line of credit to the Sri Lanka. Similarly, those aspects can also be taken up in the case of Nepal or Bhutan, so that India's influence, at least in the Indo-Pacific region, would emerge as a net security provider.
Schools in Gujarat were recently in news.
Yes, sir.
So can you elaborate, and what is this Mission School of Excellence project of Gujarat?
So schools was in the news because the infrastructures was not good, and that was highlighted, and it became a political issue in Gujarat. But this particular mission school, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that.
Anyways, so tell me why you wish to join civil services.
So it was right from my childhood, I wanted to serve the country, not just through the civil services. I did not think even of the civil services. I had the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as one of my ideals, and I chose my aerospace career accordingly. But during my stay at IIT Madras, I felt the aerospace as a little bit restrictive field, and I was exposed to multiple dimensions. For example, I did few HS courses in which I came to know about the social issues. Similarly, I did the project in environmental field where I came to know about the water pollution issues. So I was looking for an opportunity which can give me the opportunity to use the diverse knowledge and directly work for the society. And as a member of society, I can also feel those change which I would be contributing to the society. So I think IAS would be giving me that opportunity. That's why I decided to join the civil services.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.